The first time she drove through my ranch gate, I thought it was a mistake. The ranch sat on the edge of the HOA community, a sprawling property my grandfather had left me, with rolling pastures, cattle, and a long gravel drive. The HOA didn't technically have jurisdiction over my land, but that didn't stop people from acting like they owned the road. And at the heart of it all was Karen. Everyone knew her. Short blonde hair in that sharp, helmet-like cut, oversized sunglasses, and an attitude that could choke out the air in any room. She was the self-appointed sheriff of the HOA, and she decided my gate was her personal shortcut. It started with her SUV tearing down the gravel path in the middle of the night. The gate was shut, locked like it had always been. She didn't bother stopping. She rammed it once, twice, until the chain snapped loose and the old metal creaked open. The sound of it woke me. I ran outside in my boots, rifle in hand, but by the time I reached the end of the driveway, her taillights were already disappearing into the dark. I thought, maybe she was drunk, maybe she was lost. But the next morning, I found tire tracks cutting right across my pasture, mud sprayed up onto my fence, and the gate lying half broken on the ground. That's when I realized, it wasn't an accident. The second time was worse. It was just after dusk, the sky bruised purple with the last light of the day. I heard the grinding of tires on gravel and walked to the porch. There she was again, bold as ever, headlights glaring against the dust. She didn't even pause. She barreled right through, scattering cattle, tearing across the field like she owned it. I stood frozen, anger rising like a storm in my chest. My cattle weren't just livestock, they were my family's livelihood. One wrong move, one panicked steer breaking a leg because of her recklessness, and I'd lose thousands. I tried confronting her at the HOA meeting. The room went quiet when I stood and said her name. She smirked, sipping from her water bottle, and when I explained how she'd trespassed, broken my gate, and endangered my livestock, she laughed. "I have every right," she said, her voice dripping with entitlement. "That little dirt road of yours saves me 10 minutes getting to the highway. If you don't want people using it, maybe you should move." The audacity left me speechless. The HOA board didn't say a word. Some of them looked down, some looked at me like I was causing a scene. Karen had power over them, and she knew it. That night, I sat on my porch, staring out at the broken gate hanging on its hinge. Something in me snapped. Enough was enough. If she wanted to keep driving through my land, I'd let her. But this time, I'd be ready. The plan took a few days to set up. I welded the gate back together, stronger than before, and reinforced it with steel bars on the inside where no one could see. Then, about 20 yards past the gate, I dug. It wasn't deep enough to cause permanent damage, but enough that when a vehicle hit it at speed, the front tires would drop and jar the suspension hard. I lined it with wooden stakes, dull enough not to puncture but sharp enough to shred a bumper. Then I covered it all with loose dirt and gravel, blending it perfectly with the rest of the drive. The trap was set. 2 nights later, I heard the sound I'd been waiting for, the low rumble of her SUV, the crunch of tires rolling with arrogance. I turned off my porch light and waited in the shadows. Her headlights cut through the night, growing brighter until they hit the gate. She slowed this time, probably thinking I'd replace the chain with something stronger. But she didn't stop. She revved the engine, and with a sickening crunch, the reinforced gate bent slightly but held. Its ground. Her SUV forced through, metal screeching against steel. She didn't even realize what was waiting beyond. She hit the hidden trench at full speed. The front of her SUV dropped violently, slamming into the dirt with a sound that echoed through the night. Metal screeched. Plastic cracked. The airbag exploded, white and violent, filling the cabin. Her scream cut through the air before the horn stuck, blaring into the night. I stood there on the porch, my arms crossed, watching as dust settled around her crippled vehicle. She stumbled out, clutching her nose where blood trickled down, her hair a mess, her sunglasses shattered at her feet. She turned, saw me in the shadows, and her face twisted in rage. You did this. You'll pay for this," she shrieked, her voice carrying across the field. "No," I said, my voice calm, steady. "You'll pay. For every broken gate, for every risk you put on my cattle, for trespassing on land that doesn't belong to you." She tried storming toward me, but her ankle gave out from the fall. She crumpled to the dirt, cursing and spitting like a child denied a toy. I called the sheriff. Not the HOA security, not their lapdogs. The real sheriff. When the deputies arrived, their flashlights illuminated the broken SUV, the damaged gate, the torn-up drive. Karen sat in the dirt, screaming at them to arrest me. But the sheriff knew better. You trespassed, Karen, he said firmly. You've been warned before. This time, it's criminal. You're lucky he didn't press charges for property damage the first 2 times. She raged, her voice breaking, calling me a redneck, a hick, a nobody. But the deputies cuffed her anyway, ignoring her shrieks. As they dragged her to the patrol car, she caught my eye, hatred burning deep in her glare. This isn't over, she hissed. But it was. Word spread quickly through the HOA. For the first time, people whispered about Karen not with fear, but with relief. They'd lived under her reign of petty fines and neighborhood patrols for years. Now, with her gone, facing fines, possible jail time, and the humiliation of her downfall, they felt free. I fixed my gate again, this time with a stronger lock, and for months afterward, no one dared set foot on my land. The cattle grazed in peace. The air felt lighter, but sometimes, late at night, I'd sit on my porch and think about the look in her eyes, that burning hatred. Some people never learn, and if she ever came back, she'd find the gate waiting, stronger than ever, guarding the land she thought she could own.